Paddle is hurting tennis, not helping tennis. Welcome, as always, to mytenniscoaching.com. And in today's video, we're going to discuss the rise of paddle and why it's going to hurt tennis in the long run, not complement it. Before we get into today's video, I'm pleased to announce my brand new book is now out. And it has over 50 practice designs using a ecological dynamics constraint-led approach. And yeah, a must-have for all tennis coaches who are looking to bring more representative learning design into their tennis coaching. I'll leave a link down below and on the screen right now. So, paddle here in the UK over the past couple of weeks, the LTA, the national governing body, have released their paddle strategy. The idea is to grow paddle as a sport that's going to complement tennis, help tennis clubs, help tennis coaches, and grow the racket industry here in the UK. Now, I don't believe it's actually helping tennis whatsoever. My experience with paddle, never played it, but most tennis clubs that I go to, contact with, coaches, friends that work in tennis clubs, are now having paddle courts installed. But I say installed because it's at the cost of generally tennis courts. Most clubs are giving up tennis court space for paddle courts. Therefore, here in the UK, the number of tennis courts is actually now decreasing because paddle is being presented as this great new revolutionary sport that's going to complement tennis. One of the main pushes is it's going to generate income for your club. Paddle is quite popular at the moment. Most clubs who install and release paddle courts see a boom, and not only in membership but court bookings as well. Therefore, it provides a real big boost in income. Why? Because it's brand new. Everyone says how easy it is to pick up and play compared to tennis, how fun it is because you're generally playing a four in quite a small sociable session, very similar to pickleball. And I did a video a few weeks back on my views on pickleball as well, so very similar to pickleball. And the income is huge. So a lot of clubs had this fear of missing out. All we hear on social media and within the racket industry especially is how much paddle is booming and income streams are going higher, and then memberships growth is huge. And there's a fear of missing out by a lot of national governing bodies, but also clubs as well. But we're losing tennis courts. We're losing spaces to play tennis. The less space we have, the smaller our programs can be. The less spaces we have, the less opportunities people have to play tennis. And I've said this before on this video channel and podcast. Vast majority of tennis clubs, at the time recording here in 2024, they're coach led, they're program led. There's not a lot of unstructured tennis. That's now getting less because if you look at peak times now at most clubs, it's all structured stuff. It's all structured coaching programs because again, that generates the income. Less unstructured coaching, less opportunities to play. You also then have the boom of paddle. People might not be able to play both sports. If they choose one, they may pick paddle over tennis. Again, easy to pick up and play, a bit more social, and people will stop playing tennis. And when I've raised this point before to certain people, it will come back to me, to complement to tennis. People can play both. The skills they'll learn in paddle will benefit their tennis. The tennis skills will benefit their paddle. It's a great sort of symbiotism and they'll work together. But I don't see it that way whatsoever. I did a post on LinkedIn this week. You don't see football or soccer promoting rugby. Both very similar. Both use a similar type of courts. Both have similar types of skills. A little bit different in terms of the contact and stuff as well. But they don't complement each other. It's a competition. It's a different sport, and it really worries me how national governing bodies and tennis clubs are looking at the cash grab. They're looking at the next big, well, what they perceive as a next big racket sport. There's a fear of missing out, and there's definitely a commercial side to it that they're not sharing and saying, listen, we just want the money. And it's coming at the cost of tennis, and we're losing courts, we're losing players. Coaches are transitioning into paddle now because why? In this area, a paddle coach can charge £65 a lesson compared to a tennis coach, £45. And that, again, that's still really, really high. I don't believe that a private lesson should be that much, even for a tennis coach like myself. But tennis coaches are now going across to paddle, not because they love the sport, because of the money, because of the income. And I just don't see how this is healthy for tennis. I really, really don't. I don't understand this whole strategy of promoting a new sport that is actually hurting the sport that you're supposed to govern and look after in this country. And everyone's sort of patting themselves on the back because they're seeing membership spikes, they're seeing income increase, but at the cost of tennis, at the cost of the sport that I work in, that I love, and the sport that I literally earn a living from. And there's a lot of reasons for why I think tennis is in the trouble that it's in. And I don't think putting a lot of faith in alternative options to the sport is the right way, and providing more exit routes out the sport, more lucrative alternatives to the sport, is a very smart, wise, long term business decision for tennis. And I think we're in big trouble. Let me know, as always, your thoughts and comments down below. Like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you soon.